What's up, everybody? Welcome to the 5th episode of the A to D podcast. The feedback I have received in this endeavor from around the world has been awesome. Thank you for your ideas and your encouragement. I'm happy to announce that we launched our first online group this week through an outreach named Roots in St. Catharines, Ontario, Canada. A big shout out to Steve, the founder of Roots, for hosting it. I'm excited to be part of this new approach using the A to D podcasts as topics for a weekly men's group on addiction and recovery. If you would like to start a group in your area or join an existing group, contact me by email at davidfromatoD@gmail.com or on Instagram at David from A to D. Today, we will look at some of the aspects of the lifestyle of addiction and how we need to change our lifestyle and transform our way of thinking in recovery. The title of today's episode is The Dance of Addiction. What do I mean by the dance of addiction? Well, for me, the dance is the whole lifestyle of addiction. What aspects of the lifestyle of addiction do you find yourself thinking back to? Do you remember the dance? The rush of adrenaline just thinking about your next high? The way your taste buds would start dancing in your mouth in anticipation of your next drink? The tingling in your body as you click the link in the internet to return to your favorite porn site? Maybe your dance was about the excitement and adventure of hustling up the money you needed to buy your drugs each day. Or the way you felt smarter or superior as you deceived and manipulated people to get what you wanted. For some of you, it was the rush of power and rage you felt as you got your victims to surrender to your desires. Perhaps it was the freedom to do whatever you wanted, and that same freedom that you felt as no one expected you to do the next right thing, or come to think of it, no one expected you to do anything. Well, there's a great piece of wisdom about addiction in the book of Proverbs, chapter 23, verses 31 and 32. It says, "Don't gaze at the wine, seeing how red it is, how it sparkles in the cup, how smoothly it goes down. For in the end, it bites like a poisonous snake, it stings like a viper." You know, one thing true about addiction is we all get caught up in the dance. We all get caught up in the allure, the sparkle like the sparkling red wine, the taste of how smoothly it goes down. And we forget about the pain and consequences of our addiction. Too often, we begin our treatment or enter rehab with the words, "I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired." Those words may be true, but the problem is, as we begin to get well, we forget the pain of addiction, the poisonous snake, the sting of the viper. And for many of us, the memories of the dance of addiction become the triggers to relapse we never expected. Think about that. We get so comfortable in our recovery that we don't need trauma or pain or disappointment or life's everyday occurrences to trigger us. We don't need frustration. It can simply be the memories of the dance of addiction. In 1989, Garth Brooks had a huge hit with a song entitled The Dance. I want each of you to think about the dance of addiction. Here goes. Looking back on the memory of the dance we shared beneath the stars above. For a moment, all the world was right. How could I have known you'd ever say goodbye? And now, I'm glad I didn't know the way it all would end, the way it all would go. Our lives are better left to chance. I could have missed the pain, but I'd have to miss the dance. Holding you, I held everything. For a moment, wasn't I the king? But if I'd only known how the king would fall, hey, who's to say, I might have changed it all. And now, I'm glad I didn't know the way it all would end, the way it all would go. Our lives are better left to chance. I could have missed the pain, but I've had to miss the dance. Is that the thoughts that you have looking back? That you remember the romance of your addiction? That you remember the dance of your addiction and you say, the pain was worth it? Do you remember how the rush of addiction made you feel like you were the king for a moment? Well, I'm here to say today, we need to never forget the pain. We need to never forget the way we fell and how far we fell. Because as soon as we forget, we'll think the dance wasn't all that bad. So what do? We need a new dance in recovery. We need to find new excitement and adventure. We need to begin enjoying new tastes and tingles. If you're thinking right now, hey David, my life in recovery is boring. It's never exciting. There's no tingles. It's hard work. Then let's talk about some new music that you can dance to in your recovery. First of all, let's look at our 5 senses. We were all created with the same 5 senses: smell, taste, touch, hearing, and seeing. And these senses were put in us to bring us joy and pleasure and excitement. Think with me right now and maybe write down what comes to your mind as I talk about the 5 senses. And think about how they can become the music of your dance in recovery. What aromas do you love to smell? How do you feel when you smell them? What fond memories do they bring back? What foods do you most enjoy the taste of? The foods that you could eat forever because they taste so good. The ones you just keep munching on without even thinking, and you reach for even when you're not hungry. I think of the buttered popcorn at the movie theater. I never get a small container. I always get the large one and just, without even thinking, enjoy the taste so much. I can eat the whole large size by myself before the movie's over. What do you like to touch that comforts you? Maybe it's a comfortable, cozy sweater, sweatshirt, or your pajamas. Maybe it's the softness and the warmth of a hug, or the feel you get as you pet your cat or dog. Next, what sounds bring you joy when you hear them? What's your favorite music that always just picks you up again? Or is it the laughter of children that just makes your heart dance? Or the songs of birds, the melody of the water in streams as it goes over the rocks, or the sound of the crashing of waves at the ocean? What sights bring you peace and comfort? That feeling that all is right in the world. Is it the mountains, the forest, the sea? Maybe a playground or a park? Maybe the smiles on strangers' faces as you go for a walk in the city? Or maybe it's the excitement of the sights that you see when you're in a crowd at a ball game and you see their joy when your team scores, or you hear their excitement and you just get caught up in the life of what you're seeing and hearing all around you. As we face each day in our dance of recovery, it's important that we don't forget or ignore our five senses every day. Don't get caught up that you're too busy or too bored. I urge you, intentionally seek out the pleasure that each of your senses brings you every day. Go out of your way to find that comfort, that enjoyment, that peace that only comes through the things you smell, the things you touch, the things you taste, the things you see, and the things you hear. There's also many, many new dances that can be part of our recovery. New creativity. We could go for dance lessons, poetry, art, music, learn to play a musical instrument. We can have a new time of reflection as our new dance, a time of contemplation, meditation, prayer, worship. We can dance to the new ways of expression that are available to us. Begin to journal. We can actually begin to ask others about themselves, be interested in them. We can find excitement in the fact that strangers are suddenly friendly and not afraid of us. Just the joy of not hearing those automatic car doors lock when we're standing on the pavement and a car stops at a red light. We could have the dance of new hobbies like gardening or cooking, exercise, walking, yoga. We could have the dance of new places to volunteer, new ways to help others. Think about it. How could you beautify not only your home for your own enjoyment, but beautify your neighborhood? The key is to start and enjoy your dance of recovery and never forget the pain of the dance of addiction. I'd like to close with one final thought. American author Amanda Hocking wrote, "When you dance with the devil doesn't change. The devil changes you." Thanks for listening to this podcast. Please follow us wherever you listen to podcasts. Share the podcast link with your friends, family, neighbors, even strangers. Keep sending your feedback, and if you would like to be part of a weekly Zoom meeting on addiction and recovery, contact me by email at davidfromatoD@gmail.com or by Instagram at davidfromatoD. I look forward to our next episode next week.